So I wanted to go ahead and give everybody an update on the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and certified scales by fishing tournaments, specifically bass tournaments. So if you remember, last year during shows 10 and show 11, I covered the fact that I was accused of turning in a tournament trail for having non-certified scales, and they got in trouble, and I think they may have had to pay a fine or whatever, which was absolutely not true. You can go back and review those shows to see that. Well, that prompted me to call the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and see what the actual law was. Because if you remember back in those shows, I wasn't aware that it was required by law to have certified scales. Because if the scales were off for one person, they would be off for everybody during a fishing tournament, which is not the same thing as if I go down and buy a pound of hamburger meat, I need to make sure I'm getting that full pound of hamburger meat. To me, it just wasn't the same thing. But I discovered and publicized the fact that the Department of Agriculture at that time, which again was 6, 7 months ago, required the use of certified scales in fishing tournaments. So let me play you that video and phone call. Is there any requirement that you're aware of or any regulation or whatever that we have to use certified scales for fishing tournaments?
Yes, I believe so. But I'm going to let you talk to somebody that would know better than me.
Okay.
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
He said if they're winning prizes, yes, we do.
So as you can see, back then, it was required from the Louisiana Department of Agriculture that you use certified scales. And as it turns out, of course, I didn't report anybody. So this is a Facebook message that I received from Jacob Ryan Fontenot. And if you look down at the bottom, he says, "You owe a lot of people an apology. A lot of money was spent for no reason." Apparently, there was a Facebook post somewhere where somebody from the Department of Ag said that the fishing tournaments where an award is given does not fit within the definition of a commercial weighing and measuring device. Okay, first of all, I don't owe anybody anything for reporting what the law was, and technically still is, and how it was being enforced a year ago. So I reached out again to the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and talked to Paul. And let's see what he had to say in his emailed response. So after discussing this with Paul and understanding that the Department of Agriculture was literally having a meeting about this, Paul sent me this follow-up email after their meeting. And it says, after reviewing our policy on requiring certified and legal for trade scales and public weighmasters for fishing tournaments, LDAF has determined that we will not continue to require certified scales and weighmasters. The definition in revised statute 3:4602, section 4, says that scales used commercially or used for award are commercial weighing and measuring devices. After a legal and executive review, weighments at fishing tournaments are not deemed to be commercial events. Also, the use of award is not considered to include distribution of prizes. However, they still recommend their use. State and local fishing records may also require the use of a certified scale to be official. But the main thing there is the key phrase that I've highlighted in yellow: we will not continue to require certified scales. So as of last year, when I reported this, they were required. So sorry, Jacob. No apologies from me for reporting what the law and the enforcement of that law actually was. Like and follow the Outdoor News on Facebook, YouTube, and now TikTok for original quality content.